Helena Silvera adjusted her reading glasses and reread the email she had received that morning for the 10th time. At 62 years old, with silver hair that shimmered under the sunlight pouring through her Ipanema apartment window, she could hardly believe what she was reading. The invitation was real. The renowned haute couture brand Lumiere wanted her to walk in São Paulo Fashion Week. "Mom, are you okay?" asked her daughter Marina, entering the room with a steaming cup of coffee. Marina, 35, worked as a marketing director and had always been Helena's anchor since her husband's untimely death 10 years ago. Helena showed her the email.
Marina S.A. widened.
"They actually want you to walk? But you haven't done this in over 20 years. It was true. Helena had been one of Brazil's most in-demand models in the 80s and 90s. Her face graced magazine covers, she walked for the top designers in the country, and even worked in Paris and Milan. But at 40, when the offers slowed down, she chose to retire from the runway, focus on her family, and open a small boutique in Leblon. "That's exactly why I'm hesitating," Helena replied, removing her glasses and rubbing her temples. "Do I still have it in me? What if I just end up embarrassing myself?" Marina sat beside her on the beige linen sofa in the minimalist living room. "Mom, you've always been the most elegant woman I know. Age hasn't changed that." That afternoon, Helena called Renata Costa, Lumiere's creative director and an old acquaintance from her modeling days. Renata answered on the second ring, her voice as lively as Helena remembered.
"Elena,
So wonderful to hear your voice."
I assume you got our invitation."
"I did. But I must admit, I'm surprised."
"Why me, Renata?"
"There are so many young and talented models." Renata paused before answering. "That's exactly why, Helena. Our new collection is called Timelessness. We want to show that beauty and elegance don't have an expiration date. You've always embodied that for me, a woman who's aged with grace, without losing her essence." Helena felt a flutter in her stomach, the same one she used to get right before stepping onto the runway. "And if I accept, what exactly would my role be?" "You'd be our main model. You'd close the show wearing the most important piece of the collection, a dress that took 6 months to create. And I'll be honest, when I proposed your name to the board, there was resistance. Some said you were, well, too old to walk. But I pushed. I believe you can prove them wrong." After hanging up, Helena spent the rest of the afternoon walking along Ipanema Beach, watching the people. She saw women of all ages, young surfers, moms with strollers, older women playing paddleball. Each carried her own beauty, her own story. The following week, Helena was at the Lumiere Atelier for the first fitting. Located in a renovated mansion in Pinheiros, the place buzzed with activity. Seamstresses worked on vintage machines, designers debated fabrics, and young models walked the halls. When Helena entered, an awkward silence filled the room. She felt the stares, some admiring, others skeptical. One young blonde model, barely 20, whispered to her friend, who giggled.
"Renata come over with open arms. Elena,
It's wonderful to have you here."
come, I want to show you your pièce."
The dress was stunning, a champagne-colored silk crepe midi with intricate gemstone embroidery forming abstract patterns inspired by Brazilian art. The sleeves were sheer, and the cut accentuated the female silhouette without being vulgar.
"It's beautiful, Renata."
"But will it look good on me?" Helena asked, gently touching the fabric. "Let's find out." In the fitting room, Helena put on the dress. When she looked in the mirror, for a moment, she saw the woman she had been 20 years ago, but with something more, the wisdom and serenity only time can bring. The dress didn't just fit, it transformed her. When she stepped out, the room fell silent again, but this time, with admiration. Renata smiled. "Perfect."
"Absolutely perfect."
But not everyone was convinced. Ricardo Fernandez, Lumiere's marketing director, a man known for his aggressive strategies, approached Renata looking concerned. "Renata, we need to talk. Fashion journalists are already talking. Some are questioning whether this is a PR stunt or if we actually believe a 60-year-old can represent our brand." Helena overheard and felt her stomach twist. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe she should have stayed home, with her boutique and grandchildren. "Ricardo," Renata replied firmly, "fashion can't remain trapped in outdated paradigms. If we want to be relevant, We need to reflect the real diversity of society. In the days that followed, Helena immersed herself in rehearsals. She worked with Paulo Mendes, a respected choreographer who had staged shows for Brazil's top labels. Paulo, in his 50s with contagious energy, was impressed.
You still got it, Elena. The timing, the posture, the presence.
It's like riding a bike, you never really forget. Yet, Helena still felt the weight of judgment. During one rehearsal, she overheard a younger model say, "Hope she doesn't trip on the runway. That would be embarrassing for all of us." That night, she called her best friend Claudia, also a former model from the 80s.
Claudia, I'm scared I'm making a fool of myself. What if I really am too old for this?
Claudia, always blunt, replied, "Helena, you have two options. Spend the rest of your life wondering what if, or get out there and show them what you're made of. Your call." Fashion Week arrived fast. The fashion press was divided. Some praised the brand's courage to feature a mature model, others accused them of using controversy for attention. On the morning of the show, Helena woke up with butterflies in her stomach. Marina was by her side, helping her get ready. "Mom, no matter what happens today, I'm proud of you. Dad would be too." Backstage at the Bienal Pavilion, chaos reigned. Stylists, makeup artists, and models rushed everywhere. The production team double-checked every detail. Helena was one of the last to get ready. Her makeup, done by the renowned Carla Santos, enhanced her natural features, embracing her age instead of hiding it. "You look stunning, Helena." "Radiant," said Carla, finishing the final touches. Her hair was swept into an elegant, slightly undone bun by André, her silver strands framing her face beautifully. 15 minutes before the show, Renata approached Helena, who was seated, breathing deeply to calm her nerves.
How are you feeling?
Nervous, excited, scared, anxious. All at once, Helena smiled. "That's good. It means you care. Helena, no matter what happens, know this, you've already won. You had the courage to show up." The music started, and the first models hit the runway. Helena waited backstage, wearing her breathtaking champagne dress. She could hear the murmurs from the audience, fashion critics, influencers, buyers, celebrities. Next, Helena Silveira, announced the coordinator. Helena took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and stepped forward.
For a moment, the runway lights blinded her.
But then, like an old reflex kicking in, she began to walk. Her steps were firm, elegant, confident. She wasn't trying to mimic younger models or compete with them. Helena walked like a 62-year-old woman, proud of every year, every wrinkle, every silver strand. The audience, initially just curious, grew quiet, then captivated. There was something magnetic about Helena's presence. She wasn't a woman chasing her youth. She was a woman embracing her age with dignity and grace. At the end of the runway, Helena paused, just as she used to decades ago. She smiled, not the forced smile of a model, but the genuine joy of a woman exactly where she belonged. The applause began softly, then roared into a standing ovation. People rose to their feet. Photographers flashed non-stop. A famously harsh fashion critic wiped tears from her eyes.
Elena walked back down the runway.
And even after she disappeared backstage, the clapping continued. She was embraced by producers, models, journalists. Renata hugged her tightly.
Elena, you were spectacular. Absolutely spectacular.
Marina rushed in, teary-eyed.
Mom, you were perfect.
Perfect. In the hours that followed, social media exploded. Videos of Helena's walk went viral. Fashion pages worldwide praised the brand and the model's bravery. A week later, Helena was at home, reading through dozens of invitations. Beauty brands wanted her as their ambassador. Magazines begged for exclusive interviews. Fashion houses sent offers for campaigns. But the one that touched her most came from a fashion university. They wanted her to give a lecture on beauty beyond youth. "Take that one, Mom," Marina said, reading over her shoulder. "You've got so much to teach the next generation." Helena smiled, remembering the words from years ago, "Too old to model." How wrong they were. She wasn't too old for anything. She was exactly the right age to show that true beauty never expires. 3 months later, Helena walked another runway, this time in Paris. A French brand that designed exclusively for mature women had invited her to close their show. Alongside her, women over 50 walked proudly, elegantly, confidently, proving that fashion had finally opened its eyes to a truth that had always existed. Women don't disappear at 40, 50, or 60. They only become more fascinating.